What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks Island Podcast, the only NFL podcast where year takes from a washed-up Division III cornerback. I'm your host, Grayson Jenkins, joined by Hammer. It's back like the Jenks and the Hammer days on the podcast. This week, we're going to be breaking down the AFC and NFC East. Last week, we did the AFC and NFC South. If you guys want to go check that out, I broke them down with Ethan. And in today's episode, the AFC East and NFC East, these are two pretty solid divisions, both sides. So it's going to be a little bit fun to break down and preview for this season. First off, we'll start with the AFC East. Ham, what are going to be your rankings for the AFC East teams?
Bills at 1, Patriots at 2, Jets at 3, Dolphins at 4.
Dolphins at 4. Okay, so I have the same rankings, Bills, Patriots at number 1 and 2. And then at 3, I have the Dolphins 4, and I have the Jets. So, Ham, I want to ask you, what's going to be the reason for this season that you have the Dolphins below the Jets?
You know what? Honestly, a little bit about me. I've been getting into baseball recently, and this is going to connect. I know it's a little off topic. I've been getting into baseball recently. Mets fan. Go Mets. So I've been watching a lot of Frank the Tank. And if you know Frank the Tank, he's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
So I think the past couple of months, weeks, I've had a lot of negative Dolphins thoughts in my head because just watching Frank the Tank. So I think that kind of guided my pick too. But I think, you know what? Jets and Dolphins, I think they're kind of even. And I just think the Dolphins, it's just like, I don't know. They don't do anything. They don't grow. They don't. I don't know what direction this team's going in. I think they could be moving off Tua pretty soon. They just made a kind of a weird trade getting back Minkah Fitzpatrick. I just don't see the vision. With the Jets, I do. With the new head coach, with the good defense, bringing in Fields, maybe this guy can do something. I see the vision, the future more for the Jets. Dolphins, I have no direction for them. And we know the Dolphins, the past couple of years when they have made the playoffs, right? They go into that cold weather environment, which every team's going to, go through in the playoffs, and they just blow it. You know what I mean? The Dolphins are just to me in no man's land. So they're number 4.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I think the only reason I have the Jets below them right now is just because Justin Fields is kind of like more of an unknown at this point in time. I think Tua, and also with Tua's health, like if he's hurt, right? Obviously, I think the Dolphins finished 4th in division, so we'll see how they kind of play out. I think the Dolphins at the moment in time, I would say, are above them, but yeah, future wise, I think Tyreek's gonna be on the way out soon. You'd be relying on Jalen Waddle. You need De'von Achane to stay healthy, and then Tua, if he stays healthy or gets hurt, like that, really is kind of depends the future of this franchise. Next, moving on to quarterbacks. So my rankings for the quarterbacks for this division, I got number 1, I got Josh Allen. 2, I got Tua. When he is healthy, I'm going to have him at 2. And then 3, I got Drake Maye. Drake Maye this season, if he balls out, obviously would move up to that number 2 spot in my eyes. And then 4, I got Justin Fields. Hammer, what are your thoughts on that? And where would you rank these guys?
I mean, I agree, right? Josh Allen's number 1. I mean, 2 right now, I think it's Tua, but I mean, who has the bright future? Who do I think is going to do better this season? Like at the end of the season, I think we're going to be putting Drake Maye as the number 2 quarterback in this division. And then, Maye at 3 for now, and then Fields at 4.
Yeah. I think there's not really too much to be said about that. It's kind of clear cut at the moment, but it just depends. Yeah, like you said, Drake Maye has a pretty, like his O-line is set up well this season. I think he has some good weapons around him to succeed. They tried to really, really build around that team and build around him on offense. And Mike Vrabel coming in is just going to be trying to create a culture for that team where they can truly succeed. And I think Drake Maye is pretty set up for success there. So obviously we have him ranked below him at this point in time. Tua gets hurt or doesn't play super well, or they trade Tyreek. That standing shifts really, really quickly in my eyes.
Yeah.
Next, next going on to running backs. Hammer, what's your rankings for the AFC East running backs?
The AFC East running backs. All right. Number 1, I think I'm going to go James Cook. Number 2. Hold on, my thing's not loading. You go.
Number 2. So Hammer here. I'll ask you this: Is it between De'von Achane or Breece Hall?
I got it. All right. Number 1, James Cook. 2, I'm going to go with Achane right now. 3 is going to be Breeze, and 4 is going to be Stevenson.
Yeah, I had the same list here as well. I think obviously James Cook's still trying to get paid by the Bills, and I don't know if they're going to, right? I think the Bills, they have too much. They rely on Ray Davis and Ty Johnson as well. They kind of have a running back by committee right now. I think they should pay James Cook a good amount, but the way he's like demanding, I think like close to 20 mil. Like I don't think
Yeah,
he's
it's
worth
nuts.
that for the Bills at this point in time. So we'll see if that happens or if they move on from him. I think he definitely is the best running back in the division at this point in time. De'von Achane, I think definitely has the potential to jump James Cook this season. I think Ty and I, when we broke down the running backs a few weeks ago, if you guys want to go check that out, um,
He
I
was too
think
low. He was too
yeah,
low.
Ty put him low in the conversation. I think he's a young star. I think he's a guy that's definitely higher on my list than where we had him consensus with Ty's thoughts as well. I think he's higher up. I definitely think he's number 2. And then Breece Hall, just a little bit of a disappointing season last year. And I still like this year with the Jets, not much. I mean, you have Justin Fields, you have Garrett Wilson still. I'm just not super excited by that offense. I don't love Garrett or what Breece Hall has around him. So I'm not sure what to expect from it. And then obviously the Patriots running back by committee with Stevenson and Henderson. We'll see what they do this season there. Next,
Yeah.
moving on to sorry, go ahead, Hammer. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So for the AFC East receivers, this is a little bit more fun. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting as far as the rankings go. So for my receiver duos rankings, I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle at number 1. Obviously, if Tyreek Hill leaves, that changes the list a whole lot. Number 2, I have Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir above the other 2, which is gonna be I feel like that's gonna get some heat. I got Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard at 3, then Stephon Diggs and Demario Douglas at number 4. Um, yeah, just kind of explain that real quick. I think obviously I already said about the Dolphins. I think they're like the clear cut number 1 if both of those guys stay. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, I think have everything it takes to be a really solid receiver duo for Josh Allen, and they also have Josh Allen throwing them the football. Number 3, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard. Garrett Wilson just is a step above Stephon Diggs and Demario Douglas. Allen Lazard's probably below both of those guys, and then Stephon Diggs, he's still a solid vet presence for the Patriots. And then Demario Douglas should be a solid receiver too for them as well. What are your thoughts, Ham? Where would you rank them?
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit tougher list, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're talking about receiver duos, I like your list. I'd probably go Dolphins. Actually, I'd switch it up. Probably go Dolphins, Jets, Bills, and then Patriots. If we're going
that's fair.
receiver rooms, then I'm probably going Dolphins 1, 2 Bills, 3 Jets, then no, I'm going 3 Patriots, then 4 I'm
Yeah,
going Jets.
yeah. Receiver room as a whole, I think the Patriots are better than the Jets. Yeah,
Yeah, but and the Bills are just so like they just like it's like the Packers. It's like they just got a bunch of like receiver twos really because
yeah.
it's a
That you can
pretty
rely on.
deep room. Keon Coleman, Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer, Shakir, Curtis Samuel. Like it's a bunch of like I just named you 5 guys,
Yeah,
right?
that
Who
can all
all like
be
solid
solid role guys. Yeah,
receivers. Um, Stephon Diggs in New England, I think is going to take a step back. Older, coming off a tough injury, he'll still be decent, but he's not going to be the same player he once was. Dolphins, of course, got the 2-headed monster, speedsters, and then I think Garrett Wilson, right, is probably the second best receiver in this division. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
behind him, there's nothing.
yeah.
There's nothing at all. I
Yeah,
love Allen
exactly.
Lazard, but there's nothing.
Yeah, that's why it was like tough for me to like kind of rank him. I'm like Garrett Wilson, like this guy's a dog, but Allen Lazard at number 2, I'm like I can't raise him up that high because of with Wilson there. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a big step back.
Next, we got the tight ends. Ham. This is a rough group of tight ends here for the AFC East. What would be your rankings for them?
I guess you got to go Knox at 1, Hunter Henry at 2. So Bills, Patriots 3. You got to go Waller, Dolphins, and then 4. You got to go the rookie Mason Taylor.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't mind
I
that.
think I think Mason Taylor can make the jump to 2.
Mhm.
I mean you could put you could put Waller at 2, but I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna respond.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of
But yeah, Bill's definitely at 1. I don't know who you want to put at 1, either Knox or Dalton Kincaid, either one. That's gonna be number 1
yeah.
for
See,
me.
Mine's slightly different. I have Hunter Henry at number 1 just because like I think the Patriots like they rely on their tight ends usually, and I think that offense will continue to kind of use Hunter Henry pretty well this season. Number 2, I had Dalton Kincaid or Knox, whichever like is going to be that tight end 1 for the Bills. They're kind of again tight end by committee there in Buffalo, and then they also have all
I mean,
those
they
receivers
do
that you were just
too.
talking
They
about.
do too in New England. I mean, you got to remember, Austin Hooper is
Yeah,
number 2. So
but I feel like they have usually more of a tight end. They do also have multiple tight ends, but I think like they kind of rely on Hunter Henry more than those guys. Whereas like the Bills, you'll see like an even split on some games, and that's why it's tough. And they also, like we just mentioned, like the Packers, right? They have so many receivers that it kind of takes away from those tight ends receptions or targets, things like that. That production might be a little bit decreased by all of those weapons on the offensive side of the ball. For number 3 for me, I got Mason Taylor. I think he is a solid tight end. And coming in to the season, when we did our tight end rankings, I had him pretty uh, like in the middle of the pack because I think he is a guy that just can do whatever you need. He's a possession kind of tight end that you can rely on. I think that's what the Jets need. Then number 4, I got Waller, just because who knows what the hell we're getting out of him, right? He's coming out of retirement. He was just rapping for whatever for a year, and he's a guy that maybe lost some weight. I haven't seen any pictures of him or seen how much he weighs coming out of this 1 year retirement. When he was on the Giants, he didn't really do much, and that was because they kind of just used him more for blocking and didn't really use him
didn't use
well.
him right. Yeah.
And then that pissed him off, so he left, right? And so we'll see if he comes back and is truly like the same Darren Waller we knew in his peak. And if he is, then he bumps up that list a whole lot because that list is not very great at all.
I think Darren Waller is going to have like a monster week 2, and everyone's going to pick him up in fantasy.
And then
And then
just
he's going
fall.
to do absolutely nothing, and then he's going to retire week 9
Retire
when
week 9.
when the Dolphins are 2-7. That's my prediction.
That'd be something. It'd be like AB walking off the field in the middle of the game, just
Yeah,
I'm out. No, I wouldn't. I don't
that's
I
my
don't know if
prediction.
I
That's my
think
prediction.
if
I
they
can see
use
it
him
right now. Week 2, 6 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, and
and then just
then it slowly dies down. Gets nothing. Week 9, week 11, whatever rolls around, retires.
it just says I'm out.
It's like it's like a Tuesday afternoon. Ian Rappaport, Darren Waller calls it a career again.
A
Yep,
rap sheet. It would be on Pat McAfee, just like, yeah, he's done, guys.
saw
And Pat
that.
McAfee's
Saw
like,
that.
Pat McAfee's like, oh, what? Like breaking it, and Pat McAfee put on the show something. Yeah, I could see it. I don't know. I think if they use him in that Jonnu Smith role, he could have a really good year, but we'll see what if he's still in shape. Things like that all
Yeah,
come into play. Real quick, Ham, off the dome. What would be your
the
win
dome.
predictions? And this is not don't take it serious. Like it's not like, oh, you have to like pick who they're losing to, things like that. What would be like your estimated win predictions for like
For each
for
team.
each team? Yeah. You want
Okay,
me to go
so
first? You want to go first?
I can go first.
What would be your
So
thoughts here?
I think Bills probably 13-12. Um, Patriots. I'm gonna go with Patriots. I'm gonna go with 10,
Okay.
10-9 for the Patriots. Um, Jets, who I had third, I'm gonna give them a good 6, and I'll give the
6 to 10.
Dolphins 5.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit lower than I see. I have like the Bills, same range, 12, 13. I'd give 10 to the Patriots, and then Dolphins, I'll give them 7. I'll give the Dolphins 7 wins because that's the kind of team they are. But this is a tough division right now. I think they lose probably both games to the Bills, 1 to the Patriots, and then lose a few other games this season.
I think
Um,
I
the
think this
Jets,
is
5 games
okay. I think this is the year the Dolphins
fall off the
I
train.
think like I said in the beginning, I think this is a down year. I
Yeah.
think at the end of the season, I think Tua maybe on his way out, maybe he gets traded. I think McDaniels, I think he is on the hot seat this year. I really do. I think if it's not a good season, I could see him on the chopping block.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think McDaniel, like
And
You know,
he's
we've
awesome.
seen
I
it.
like him. I'm a fan, but like,
He's not a bad head coach. He
if
just
you don't, the past couple of years, there's no results. There's no
you
results.
get to the
You know what I
playoffs and you
mean?
shit the bed year in, year out, and maybe that's because of Tua, right? Like, maybe Tua's just failing him or something like that. Maybe he goes to a different offense with different weapons and succeeds, but right now, it's not working in Miami, and like you just said, I think, yeah, he'll definitely be on the hot seat if it's falling
Yeah,
apart for him.
yeah.
For me, yeah, I just gave my win predictions. I think I said, like, the Jets at 5 or 6. I think 5 wins. So, moving on to the NFC East, this is a little bit more fun. I think this is a pretty stacked division as far as the teams go, maybe except for the number 4 team. But number 1, I got the Eagles still. I think they retain that spot in division. With their schedule, though, we could see them maybe lose a couple more games than they did last season. We'll see how that plays out. Number 2, I'm going to go the Commies here, staying at number 2 in the division. 3, I'll go the Cowboys. I think all 3 of these teams are still going to be pretty solid. And then 4, the Giants. I don't know what to expect for them. I think maybe they take a step up from what they were last year. Um, Obviously, with a 3 new quarterbacks coming in, we'll see who becomes a starter for them in this training camp and preseason. I think it's going to end up being Russell Wilson to start the season, and then Drake Maye after maybe a few weeks. If
You mean Jackson Dart, not Drake May?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong list. AFC. So, but yeah, Jaxson Dart coming in. I wasn't like when we did our quarterback rankings. I had Jaxson Dart at number 2. I want to say, and I was solid on him. Ty was like, this
A lot
guy.
of rumors about this guy being a Saint at 9.
Yeah, there were a lot of rumors about him being a Saint, and I wouldn't have been too opposed. I think he has like the swagger that comes like you could succeed with in New Orleans, but we'll see what Shuck is up to in New Orleans in the preseason. But Jaxson Dart, man, he has what it takes to succeed down there. I just think he'll be a starter after a few games after Russ kind of crashes and burns. Maybe you see some, Jameis Winston action in there for the Giants too. Maybe you see him come in for a few games. We'll see what plays out with them. But yeah, the Giants are number 4 in the division. Would your rankings be the same, Ham? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles at 1, and then I think Cowboys and Commanders are going to be neck and neck.
Really?
I see this kind of being like, who takes that 2 spot could be like by a game or by half a game. I think
Mhm.
they're going to be very close record wise. And then yes, 4 next to the whale poop going to be the Giants. And yeah, I mean, I think Jameis Winston would be really cool. I live in the area, so I think the New York media would love Jameis, and Jameis would love them. It'd be a lot of comedy
Yeah,
and
just
stuff.
such a character.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks wise, the list is a little bit different for me. I think number 1, this is going to shake some people up, I'm sure, but number 1, I'm going to go Jayden Daniels. Number 2, I'm going to go Dak Prescott. Number 3, Jalen Hurts, and then 4, Jaxson Dart, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, whoever starts for the Giants. But the reason I say I think that'll shake people up, like Ty had Jalen Hurts in the superstar range because he won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, right? But in my opinion, Jalen Hurts isn't. He's not. You don't win a Super Bowl because of Jalen Hurts. He's not a guy you go to the Super Bowl because of. He's a guy you can win with, but he's not a win because of kind of quarterback. Dak Prescott and Jayden Daniels. Dak Prescott, I'd still say, is probably a win with guy, but Jayden Daniels is a win because of kind of quarterback, and we've seen it this year. He carried them to the NFC Championship game. Like if he wasn't the quarterback he is, they wouldn't have made it there, and the Commies team would be looking a lot different this offseason. So I think Jayden Daniels is number 1. But what are your thoughts, Sam?
There's 2 ways I can go with this. I think we gotta spice it up, so I'm gonna go with the spicier route.
Yeah, get the spice in.
I'm going Dak at 1. I'm
Okay,
going 2 Jalen Hurts, and I'm gonna
okay.
go 3 Jane Daniels, and then 4 is gonna be the Giants. And the reason I say that is because you know what? I think Jane Daniels in a second snap of a finger could be number 1 on this list. Right by
Okay.
midway end of the season, he could be number 1. But right now, I'm gonna go with the more accomplished guys. Dak has proven, year in year out, that he's a really good QB. He is. He's
He's
solid.
got what it takes.
He's
Yeah.
dependable. I mean, I know it hasn't been the prettiest of playoffs. I mean, one of those years he ran the Jordan Love, but I really like Dak. I root for Dak. I don't like Dallas, but I root for him. I think you just know what you're gonna get. And then Jalen Hurts, does he throw the prettiest ball? Does he, is he the reason why you go to the Super Bowl and this and that? No. It's kind of a team that's been around him in that offensive line and Saquon and the defense. But at the end of the day, the guy's got a ring. Jayden Daniels has
Yeah,
all the talent in the world. He's more talented than both of these guys, but he's only played a year. So I want to see a little bit more. And I think if he continues to play like the way he has and the way I think he's going to play, then yeah, he's going to be number one on this list by the end of the season. But right now, I'm going to put him at number 3 because I don't hand out gold jackets like Jenks and Ty. All
see,
right.
but I'm not. I see in my mind, it's not handing one out, right? He carried the
Yeah, but
commies
it's 1 year. It's
to
1
the
year.
championship.
You're
But
going against a whole bunch of teams that did not have tape on you. Now they got tape. We
that's
always
true.
know we
But
always know this the sophomore slump, like it's a real thing for a reason. Because teams know how to game plan and they have your
that
number
is
now.
true. That is
What do you
true.
think they're doing these past 5 months? They're
I
getting
will
ready for
say
you.
I will say this, if Dak Prescott doesn't succeed or do put up real numbers with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb now, I think that's when we see him drop down to 3 below Jalen Hurts even, like, after this year.
I
That is
agree.
really like, we're going into the season, he should put up MVP numbers, he should,
He
like, that's
will.
the
I
expectation.
believe he will.
Yeah, and I think he should, yeah.
And that's why I believe, even though I think the Commanders are a better roster, I think they're going to be neck and neck because I
That's
think
fair, yeah.
Dak's going to have a really good season. Because I think Dak's really good QB, and they got the weapons so
Yeah,
for him this
yeah, I
offseason.
think
So yeah,
it's just so funny. I think the Cowboys, who knows if they choke again in the playoffs, but I think they'll make it.
No, they will. They will. They will. They
I
will.
think yeah, I think it's bound to happen. But I think it's gonna be the NFC East, and then we'll talk about the NFC North in a couple weeks. It's gonna be those 2 divisions duking it out for the 3 wild card spots after whoever makes that the wins division. Those wild card spots are gonna be between 3 teams of those divisions. That's where my eyes are at right now. But we'll see how this season plays out. Anyways, moving on to running backs in the NFC East. Hammer, this is gonna be a little bit more fun. What are your thoughts on this one? Just a little interesting. Outside number
Yeah.
1, obviously.
Eagles, Saquon.
Yeah.
Commanders, number 2 with Brian Robinson. And then you know what? 3, I'm gonna go with Tracy.
Yeah. I
And the
think that's
Giants, and then 4, Javonte Williams with Dallas.
yeah. See, I switched 2 and 3, so I have number 1, Saquon, obviously, he's probably number 1 running back in the league right now. I don't think there's even a probably there he is. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Tyrone Tracy. I liked what he did last year with
2, Tracy.
yeah, I liked what he did last
Uh,
year, and I think the O-line will be a little bit better this year. I think he'll go out, put up more numbers than he did last year. And Brian Robinson, I don't know. I feel like the first half of the year he was really, really solid, and in that back half of the year he was underwhelming for me. And I think that kind of bumped him down this list. Whereas Tyrone Tracy, maybe it's like recency bias because Tyrone Tracy balled out that second half of the year, put up some solid numbers, and I saw him improving. So we'll see. And then obviously Javonte Williams, I think he can succeed in this Dallas offense. I kind of want him to after not being what he kind of was expected to be after injury, coming back from injury. I want to see Javonte kind of step up for the Cowboys team, but we'll see if that actually happens. Next, we got the receiver room, receiver duos for this division, and this is a lot of fun. This is really solid receiver groups on every single team. So at number 1, I'm gonna go CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I think George Pickens obviously bumps this group up a whole lot. He is a receiver 1 on a lot of other teams, and he was for the Steelers last year. And number 2, I'm going to go AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I think these 2 are probably 1A, 1B receiver rooms. I think both of them are really, really solid groups and duos. Number 3, I'm going to go Malik Neighbors and Wandale Robinson over Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel because both of those guys are getting a little bit older. I think Deebo Samuel's losing some of his speed and some of his burst. And I think that's going to hurt him a little bit. I think he's going to be really just kind of a within 5 yards of the field of the line of scrimmage guy. I think he's going to be a bunch of crossers, slants, screens, runs, things like that. Whereas Wandale Robinson and Malik Neighbors, you can really use both of those guys for whatever you need. And Wandale Robinson kind of reminds me of a younger version of a play style like Deebo, where you can throw him short routes and things like that, and he'll get a lot of yak after the catch. So we'll see what they do. Ham, what's your list for these receiver duos?
Yeah, number 1, I'm gonna go Dallas. I think it's neck and neck with Philly, but I'll go Dallas. 2, Philly. 3, I'm gonna go with the Commanders, and 4, I'm gonna go with the Giants.
What's the reasoning for 3, the Commies above the Giants?
I think we underrate Terry way too much.
I
So
think that's
if I can give him his flowers on the Jenks Island Podcast on a Wednesday night, I'm gonna give him his flowers. So I'm gonna give Terry the bump up to 3. Him and Debo over the Giants. Terry's legit, man. And
he is.
you know what, Debo, and I know we're not going to rooms, but Noah Brown's not a bad player, and Devo's better than Slayton or Wandell. And I know he's older and banged up, and he's only going to play probably 8 games. But he's right now, as we sit today,
Yeah.
he's a better receiver, better player than those two.
But hear me out: is the gap between Wandale and Debo bigger than the one between Malik and Terry? I think Malik is levels above Terry at this point in time.
Yeah, he probably is. But like I said, I'm gonna give my flowers to Terry.
I respect
it because he doesn't get him enough.
I'm a big Terry.
And I had Terry in I made a trade and got Terry in fantasy last year, and he just balled out for me.
Yeah,
like was getting 20 plus points a week. So towards the end of the season, so I'm gonna just give him his flowers. Even if it should be the Giants, I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
He's definitely. I mean, Terry McLaurin. Yeah, obviously slept on it, and I'm interested to see. He wants to get paid this offseason. I'm interested to see if the Commies can do it or will do it, because you don't want to pay him. I'm not paying Terry more than 30 mil at this point at his age right now.
No.
And I feel like he's wanting more than that. And I just like, if you're the Commies, you can't do that. You can't.
No, you can't. You can't.
But he's definitely receiver one. He's one of the top, I'd say, top 12,
15, 12.
15, 12 receivers in the league. So he's up there.
He's the most underrated, I think.
Yeah, out of those
it's
top
tough.
50, because everyone's like,
it has to do with the team you're on and the market.
His whole career,
a lot of things that factor in.
He's
always had bad QB play. I mean, until this past year or so. I like Terry.
And flowers to him, because, like you said, flowers to the guy. He stuck it out. He was loyal to them, like believed in this new regime, new era, and he was like, "I'll stay with you guys. Let's see what happens." And then balled out last year. So he bet on the team, and it worked out. Next, we got the tight ends. Ham, what are you going to rank the tight ends for the NFC East?
Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to go 1, Eagles. All right, with Dallas Goedert. 2, I'll go Ferguson. 3, I'll go Ertz. And 4, I'm going to go with Theo Johnson for the Giants.
Yeah, I got the same list. I think this one, again, is kind of like we said it last week, there's like food chains in the NFL. Like, this is kind of just, this guy's better than this guy. And it's pretty obvious on paper. And when you watch, like, I think Dallas Goedert, you can rely on him, right? The Eagles are always relying on him when he's healthy. Last year, obviously had a couple injuries, and he didn't play the full season, but he still had great stats and production. And then Jake Ferguson took a step back last year, but I think he'll bounce back this year now that George Pickens is there too. Take a little bit more pressure off of him and CeeDee. And then Zach Ertz, still really good, still really talented, but older, losing a step each season. So I think it's time where we'll see those next up guys. Ben Sinnott is going to be a really good tight end, I think, for the Commies after this season. And then Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger. We'll see. They have a bunch of tight ends.
I agree.
They have a bunch of tight ends, man. The Giants, they're kind of like, they have like 5 guys right now. They're all like a little bit younger, and it's like, who's going to take that step to be the number 1? But they're definitely number 4 at this point in time. Yeah. Hammer,
as
you know
always.
What time it is. You know what time it is. Win predictions for the NFC East. What do you got?
Okay. Eagles, I'm going to say like 14, 13, 12.
Yeah, range.
I think they're a top 2 seed in the NFC. Cowboys, I'm going to go with, I think Cowboys and Commanders are both like 11. I think they're both 11. That's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be like, I think they could have the same record, and it's gonna be like, who has a tiebreaker, who has more wins in the division, this and that. I'm gonna go with 11 for them too. For the Giants, give me Russ is gonna win 1 game. He's gonna get benched. Jameis is gonna come in and win 2. they'll probably somehow get a win against the Packers because they always do. I'm gonna give them 5.
5 wins.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate. I think that's a good number.
I think that's good, right? So it's like I'd
Yeah.
say 13, 14, 13 for the Eagles, then 11 for Cowboys, Commanders, then 5 for the Giants.
Yeah. I'll make it distinct. I'll give 13 Eagles, 12 Commies, 11 Cowboys, maybe 10 to the Cowboys. I'll give them 10 Cowboys, and then Giants, I'll give 5, maybe 4. It just depends on,
Giants have
you know,
such a brutal schedule.
yeah,
It's brutal.
they're like they I was going through it the one day.
We're
They
gonna
can
go
start
through
off
it
the
right
season
now.
like
We're gonna go through it
0-8.
right now. Hold
Here,
on.
let's hammer. Let's pull up the schedule.
I'll pull up right now. No, not the San Francisco Giants.
Hey, you said you're getting
Unbelievable.
into baseball, man.
I am.
All right, here. I'm gonna pull it
Go
up.
Mets. Hold on, I got it up.
Mets
I
is
beat you.
great.
Hold on, I beat you. Here we go. Ready?
Let
I'm
me
gonna read
shoot
it
some-
off. You're gonna say win-loss. Ready?
Yeah.
Week 1 at Washington.
Yeah, that's an L.
Week 2 at Dallas.
L.
Week 3 home opener Kansas City.
Like maybe they'll show a little bit of momentum in a home game. They'll be like, "Woo, go Giants!" No, it's still an L.
So that you're starting off 0-3.
It's
Okay,
getting
now
worse.
you
Getting
get the
worse.
Chargers at home.
Chargers gonna be solid this year. They're gonna lose another 0-4.
0-4. Okay, then you go to New Orleans. This
think
is
they're
like
gonna-
one of the games they could win.
This
They
is
could
like
win this game.
this is like a 50-50 game in New Orleans, though. I think Shuck might have just like belief in him from the fans, and they'll be in the dome.
Yeah. Give it to the
No,
Giants.
I'm not even saying. No,
Give it to the Giants.
I'm
for the
dead
sake of
serious.
it.
I don't think the Giants win it. I don't think they win it.
All right.
I don't.
Oh, so 0-5.
Yeah.
Week 6, Philly.
This here. Let me skip forward. Philly. This 3 games. LLL. Like this is quick.
Denver. Wait, so Philly, Denver, Philly. All right,
That's
so now
a
they're
brutal.
0-8. They're 0-8 right now. So, but look at the teams. Like, look at the physicality you have to play. Ready? Philly, Denver, Philly, San Fran, and then you have to go to the NFC North: Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit. Like, how are you surviving that? You're getting so banged up. These are physical, powerful teams. Like,
So all those
Philly, you're
L's,
gonna get ran over. So that's all right. All those. Okay, so that's gonna take you to Detroit. So that's 0-12.
and then they played the Patriots in New England, and the Patriots are going to be on like they're going to have momentum. Primetime game. It's going to be like
They have a
that's a
late,
tough one.
they have a
I don't
late
think they
bye
win.
week. They have a late bye week, so they're not going to have any time to rest and heal from that stretch of just brutal teams. Then you come back from the bye week. You got Washington, and you got
Oh.
Minnesota. Then you have Las Vegas, which is probably their only win, maybe, and then Dallas, which
All
that
right.
might be a win too because Dallas might sit their starters. Who knows?
Give me.
But like I'm looking at it, and I'm going to say, just for the sake of it, I'm going to say they beat the Saints.
Yeah.
Beat the Raiders. Let's say they split with either the Commanders or Dallas. Who knows, right? They get one.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say right. Maybe they beat the Chargers, right? They just wake up that morning feeling good. Boom, 4, and then I'll give them Patriots. So that's 5. That's maybe 5 at best 5.
I'm going. I'm going to switch my. I'll go 2. I think
It's bad. It's
Vikings.
a brutal schedule.
Vikings Raiders.
I mean, they could even beat Green Bay. They always like somehow beat Green
Yeah,
Bay.
they'll definitely
But,
put
like,
up. They're gonna win like 1 or 2 more games and like off the schedule, but
they every team always loses 1 or 2 games they're not supposed to, and then wins 1 or 2 they're, loses that they're supposed to win. You know what I mean? So, but as we just went through it, it's a brutal schedule. It's tough. That stretch right there, though, after the Saints, week 6 to week 12, like
you're
Philly, Denver, Philly, San Fran, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit. That is
not winning a game.
brutal.
And again, like you said, the late bye week is even more killer because you're not getting any rest after it. You're just getting beat up, and then you have to go out next week and get beat up again. So yeah, I think they're pretty screwed looking at it. And then Hammer after that, quick.
Here's the next question. Go ahead. Go ahead. Quick one. So you're looking at the schedule, right? When is it time to play dart? Because it's like you're going to play the first 6 games, and then it's like you don't want to play dart in that stretch, do you, against those teams? Like, he's going to get shook. Like, he's going to get smacked. Like, you can't even play him, can you? Do you just wait till the last couple games against, like, Vegas? I don't even know.
So I think you either go about it one of 2 ways. Either you go after week 3 and you go Even week 2. It's week 2 or 3. You do the route where you see the veterans struggle. You kinda see where your team's at, and you go, "Hey,
The
let's
New
put in the
York
rookie
media
and
is
let him."
like, "Get
Yeah.
Jordan."
You go let him play the whole season, and you just go with the highs and you go to the lows.
There's
Or
been a
Hammer,
lot of
like
lows with that stretch.
yeah,
That's tough.
or with the way you were just saying, they go, "Alright, we're gonna play a lot of tough teams here. Let's go after the bye week and let Dart play the last 4 or the last
Yeah,
3."
yeah,
Something small just to give a little bit of momentum to the team
yeah.
after they've already sucked the whole season. So
Yep.
those are 1 or 2 routes. I think they go with the second this year. I think they were the second, and they let those vets, Russ or Jameis, just go
Yeah.
and take the
I
hits.
think I think you're with the third option, and the third one is don't play him at all. I
Yeah,
think
it's fair too.
just sit and learn. Tell like, the quarterbacks that we've seen do this, they usually turn out well.
Yeah.
Sit and learn, take your notes, you know what I mean? Learn from Russell Wilson. He's not great, but he was pretty good, and the guy's got a Super Bowl. Let Jameis, Wilson's gonna play the first 6 weeks. And then after, just let Jameis go sling it. Like, just let
Yeah.
him go sling it. Even like everyone's gonna enjoy it. The New York media, the fans, this and that. Don't play dart. That's what I would say.
'Cause
Don't play.
here's the thing with Jameis, like, he's a gunslinger, he's gonna throw some picks, but he also, like, he puts people in games that they don't really belong in. Like, he'll keep some games close, and then some games he'll just let be blowouts 'cause he's throwing too many picks, but he'll at least make it entertaining, like you just said. Media will enjoy it. It'll be a fun time, but we've seen how Russ has played for both the Steelers and the Broncos. Both of those fan bases hated it watching him play, even though he was solid, like, he was alright with the Steelers. They still hated watching it because it's not a good product, whereas Jameis is at least fun. Be fun for the media. Maybe he gives Daboll a let me ask you this. If they do go and only win 3, 4 games, is Daboll out after the season?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he has to be. You gotta go new
Yes.
era with the quarterback. And then we get into discussions of this is a quarterback
I want Joe
heavy.
Shane out. If I'm a Giants fan though,
Yeah. He's gotta
I
be
might
gone.
want Joe Shane out before Dable.
Yeah, and maybe you keep Daboll if you get rid of Shane and maybe you keep Daboll,
I
but
think I mean it's gonna be a package deal. I think they both go, but
yeah. And then here's the other thing, Ham. This is another conversation to have. This is a quarterback heavy draft class coming up. The way people are talking about it, it's 4 or 5 guys, similar to last or 2 seasons ago with Caleb Williams and all of them. You come into this and maybe the Giants say, "All right, Dart, we don't know what you are, but we're gonna take a quarterback
here
anyways." If you're
well
high up on the draft board.
so here's what would happen if the Giants, right, we looked at the schedule. I say after the bye week, right? So you
Mhm.
played 13 games.
Yeah.
If you have 3-10, right? If you have, to me, if you have 2-3 wins at that time, right? Maybe 4.
Mhm.
You're gonna be picking very high in the draft, right? Top 6, top 8, whatever, top 5, maybe. You know what I mean? You're gonna be picking high. Like you said, it's a really good QB class. I think then that those last 4 games, that's when you got to put in dark, because then
You
you got to
have to.
find out what's what. You know what I mean? But if you got like 5 wins, then I think no, because then
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? You're probably gonna win another, maybe even 2, so that gets you to 6, maybe even 7, and
Yeah.
then you kind of have like a later, top 10 pick, maybe early teens pick, so that kind of takes you out of the QB market. But if you got like 2-3 wins last 4 weeks, yeah, let Dart sling it, see what you got, and if you don't like what you see, then do your homework on the QBs and maybe you draft one.
And it should be viewed as like a Super Bowl win if they win anything over 5 games before the bye week. If the Giants win
Yeah,
anything above 5 games before the bye week,
yeah.
you're happy as a Giants fan with this schedule. Like, it's just you're really set up for failure. So we'll see if the Giants can really bounce out of it and show that they still have some life, but it's gonna be tough. It's a tough uphill battle for them. Real quick, Hammer, we're gonna update our division rankings. So last week we put the AFC South above the NFC South. So upon among the AFC East, NFC East, where would you put them? Would you put them both above the South divisions, and then where would you put them themselves? What would be your top 4 between the South and the East divisions?
Yeah, I'd put yeah, I would put both above the
Yeah,
Souths, and I'd probably go NFC East, AFC East, then AFC South, than NFC South.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I
simple.
definitely think NFC East, AFC East, and then the South divisions are still probably the worst. So next week we'll be doing, I believe, the West divisions, and it's looking like it'll be Hammer, Ethan, Ty, and I. And then the week after that, hopefully be all four of us again. So we'll see how this all pans out. But another couple exciting episodes for you guys out there. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to go check out the South preview episode as well from last week. I'll link that above right here. And we will see you guys next week. You guys know where to check us out on socials at Jenks Island and wherever you get your podcasts at Jenks Island as well. See you.